The moment a woman starts losing interest, the instinct that destroys more relationships than almost anything else is the instinct to chase harder. She replies slower, so you text more. She becomes less affectionate, so you become more available. She stops initiating plans, so you start trying to create excitement for both of you. You tell yourself you are fighting for the connection. But from her side, something very different may be happening. She is feeling less emotional pull, while you are showing her that your sense of security depends on getting that pull back. And that changes the dynamic, not because women secretly want to be ignored, not because distance is some magic attraction trick, but because genuine desire cannot be negotiated out of someone through extra effort. When interest begins fading, your job is not to convince her to feel what she no longer feels. Your job is to understand what changed, protect your self-respect, and create enough emotional space for the truth to reveal itself. There is one mistake here almost every anxious man makes, and it is more subtle than double texting or asking, "Is everything okay?" We will come back to it, because once you see it, you may recognize exactly why a woman who once seemed excited about you suddenly became colder every time you tried harder. Start with the first distinction. Attention is not the same as investment. A woman can still answer your messages, laugh at your jokes, accept a date, send a heart emoji, even say she has been busy, while gradually reducing the amount of emotional energy she gives you. Men often watch individual behaviors. She replied, she smiled, she said yes. So they assume the connection is fine, but attraction is often easier to read as a pattern. Does she make room for you without being pushed? Does she ask questions because she wants to know you? Does she create opportunities to continue the conversation? When plans fall through, does she help create another one? Does her energy move toward you sometimes? Or are you dragging the entire connection forward? That is useful information. Imagine you send her a message Tuesday afternoon. She responds Wednesday night with something friendly but flat. Your first instinct may be to rescue the conversation, ask another question, send something funny, mention an inside joke, maybe suggest meeting up. You feel the distance, and your nervous system wants to close it immediately. But notice what you are really doing. You are trying to remove your uncertainty rather than observing reality. A grounded man can tolerate not knowing for a moment. He does not punish her, disappear theatrically, or pretend not to care. He simply stops carrying both sides of the connection. He matches reality instead of fighting it. If she is genuinely overwhelmed, interested but distracted, or dealing with something unrelated to you, space gives her room to return naturally. If she is actually losing interest, space prevents you from turning one uncomfortable truth into weeks of chasing someone who has already emotionally stepped back. Either way, you gain clarity, and clarity is far more valuable than temporary reassurance. But there is a deeper question. Why does chasing often make fading interest feel even weaker instead of restoring it? Because when someone is uncertain about you, excessive pursuit can unintentionally answer a question they were still emotionally deciding. Picture the beginning of a connection. She liked your confidence, the way you had your own schedule, the fact that conversation felt easy rather than forced. You wanted her, but you were not orbiting her. Then something shifts. Maybe the novelty wears off. Maybe she notices a compatibility issue. Maybe another part of her life becomes more important. Maybe she simply cannot yet tell how strongly she feels. There does not always have to be a villain or dramatic reason, but you sense the shift, and suddenly the version of you she was getting to know disappears. You become hyper-attentive. Her response time becomes important. You read punctuation. You wonder why she used to send 3 messages and now sends 1. You start offering more, explaining more, checking in more. That is where the emotional contrast becomes powerful. She is leaning back to understand what she feels, while you are leaning forward because you cannot tolerate what she might feel. And now she is not only experiencing uncertainty about the relationship, she is experiencing pressure to resolve your uncertainty too. You might think, but if I show her how much I care, won't that remind her what we have? Sometimes, sincere communication absolutely helps. If you are in an established relationship, emotional honesty matters. If there has been a misunderstanding, address it. But there is a difference between expressing yourself once and repeatedly campaigning for affection, saying, "I've noticed some distance lately. If something has changed, I'd rather talk openly about it," is communication. Sending 3 paragraphs because she did not reassure you strongly enough is anxiety trying to disguise itself as communication. That distinction matters. The emotionally intelligent move is simple but uncomfortable. Invite honesty, then watch behavior. Do not interrogate. Do not accuse. Do not build a courtroom case out of response times and Instagram activity. Give her a chance to show you where she stands. Suppose she says, "Nothing's wrong. I'm just busy." Fine. Do not immediately challenge her explanation. Watch what happens afterward. Busy people can still show interest. Not constantly, not perfectly, but usually there is some movement. "This week is crazy, but are you free Sunday?" Or, "Sorry I disappeared. Tell me what happened with that thing you were working on." The important signal is not constant availability. It is voluntary effort. And here is where a lot of men get trapped. They mistake access for desire. She has not blocked you. She still answers. She occasionally likes your story. So you continue investing at full intensity. But politeness, familiarity, guilt, habit, and genuine romantic interest can look similar in isolated moments. What separates them is reciprocity over time. If you stop constantly creating contact, does anything remain? That question can feel frightening because you may already suspect the answer, but it is better to discover you were maintaining the connection than to spend 3 more months maintaining the illusion of one. There is another trap too. Some men here do not chase and turn it into a game. Wait exactly 7 hours, post photos with other women, become cold, try to trigger jealousy. That is still chasing. It is just chasing indirectly. Your attention is still controlled by her reaction. Real self-respect looks quieter. You continue your life. You maintain your friendships, goals, work, fitness, interests, standards. You are open if she comes toward you, but you no longer perform for a response. Think back for a second. Have you ever noticed that the more desperately you tried to recover someone's interest, the less like yourself you became? That is not accidental. And the next part explains why losing yourself may be the strongest signal of all. Here is the revelation most men misread. When a woman pulls away, the most important thing to observe is not whether she comes back after you stop chasing. It is what happens to you when you stop. Many men turn distance into a test. I'll disappear and see if she misses me. Then every hour becomes surveillance. Did she view the story? Did she text? Did she ask a friend about me? That is not emotional detachment. That is waiting for validation in silence. The deeper move is to stop using her reaction as the measurement of your worth. Now imagine a more specific scene. You have been seeing a woman for 6 weeks. In the beginning, she would reach across the table and touch your arm when she laughed. She would text you after dates. She once moved plans around because she wanted to see you. Recently, things feel different. You meet for coffee and she is pleasant, but slightly somewhere else. She checks her phone twice. She does not ask as many follow-up questions. When you suggest Saturday, she says, "I'll let you know." Most men feel the alarm immediately. On the drive home, they begin constructing a rescue mission. Maybe you send, "You seemed quiet today. Everything good?" She says, "Yeah, just tired." 20 minutes later, you send something funny. Then another message the next morning. Then Friday you ask about Saturday again. Each action feels small. Together they communicate something larger. You are trying to restore an energy she is no longer choosing to create. A calmer response looks different. You enjoy the coffee. You notice the change without becoming hostile. When she says she will let you know, you say, "Sounds good," and mean it. Then you make your own plans. Not to punish her, not to teach her a lesson. Because your weekend was never supposed to remain empty while someone decided whether you deserved their attention. If she reaches out Saturday afternoon saying, "Hey, are you still free?" you do not automatically drop everything. If you happen to be available and want to see her, great. If you made other plans, you keep them and suggest another time if you still want to. That small moment reveals something important. Your life has structure independent of her uncertainty, and she can feel the difference between a man who likes her and a man who needs her response to feel settled. This is the payoff. The behavior almost everyone misreads is her return after distance. A woman coming back does not automatically mean her attraction is restored. Sometimes she misses your attention. Sometimes she is curious why your behavior changed. Sometimes she genuinely realizes she values the connection. Sometimes loneliness, familiarity, or temporary emotion pulls her back. So do not celebrate contact. Observe investment. If she returns with, "Hey, stranger," and you immediately resume giving her everything, nothing has actually changed. But if she returns with clearer effort, initiating plans, asking meaningful questions, acknowledging the distance, showing consistency, that is different. Her words can reopen the door. Her behavior tells you whether to walk through it. That is the distinction men often learn too late. And there is another layer. Even genuine renewed attraction does not mean you should pretend the earlier withdrawal never happened. If someone repeatedly becomes warm when you pull away and cold when you move closer, you may be looking at an unstable pattern, not some profound romantic mystery. Hot and cold dynamics can feel intensely attractive because uncertainty keeps your attention activated. You start craving the highs precisely because the lows are painful. But emotional intensity is not the same as emotional health. If a connection constantly requires you to withdraw before the other person invests, ask yourself a harder question. Do you actually want this relationship, or have you become addicted to finally winning the reassurance you keep losing? That question changes everything, because now the issue is no longer how to regain her interest. It is whether her way of relating deserves yours. And this is where "never chase her" becomes something larger than dating advice. It is not a command to become emotionally unavailable. It is a reminder that affection offered freely is valuable, while affection extracted through persuasion eventually becomes exhausting for both people. You can care deeply and still have standards. You can be vulnerable and still walk away from ambiguity that becomes chronic. You can tell someone you want them without trying to force them to want you at the same intensity. In fact, one of the strongest things you can say in an uncertain connection is something simple and calm. "I like spending time with you, but I'm looking for something mutual. If you're unsure, I respect that." Then stop talking. You do not need a dramatic speech about everything you have done for her. You do not need to threaten that other women want you. You do not need to announce that you are done chasing. Your behavior can communicate your standard without hostility. There is also a final warning men rarely hear. Do not confuse one moment of lower energy with permanent loss of interest. People have bad days. Stress changes behavior. Family issues, work pressure, health, grief, exhaustion, or simple emotional overload can make someone quieter. This is why mature observation matters more than rigid rules. Look for patterns, not isolated incidents. If she is usually warm and suddenly distant after an awful week at work, empathy may be the right response. If she has been gradually giving less for a month while you keep compensating with more, that is different. Context matters. Your goal is not to become a detective hunting for signs she is leaving. Your goal is to become secure enough that you do not need to distort obvious patterns to protect yourself from disappointment. Sometimes the strongest move is a conversation. Sometimes it is space. Sometimes it is accepting the ending without demanding one last explanation that will finally make everything painless. And sometimes, ironically, she does regain interest when you stop pressing. If that happens, do not immediately assume you discovered some secret technique. You may have simply removed pressure and allowed natural desire to breathe again. The important question remains, is she choosing you consistently when she is free to choose? Because mutual desire feels different from constant pursuit. You do not have to decode every message. You do not have to earn every meeting. You do not spend your nights wondering whether sending one more text will save the connection. There is movement from both sides. Not perfectly equal every day, but mutual enough that you can feel the difference. So if a woman starts losing interest, do not panic and become more persuasive. Notice, communicate when appropriate, give space without playing games, keep living your life. Watch whether she invests voluntarily. And if she does not, believe the pattern before your ego invents a story that keeps you trapped. Your value is not proven by convincing someone reluctant to choose you. It is revealed in your ability to remain open, respectful, and grounded even when the answer is not the one you hoped for. That is confidence without arrogance, desire without dependence, presence without pursuit. And once you understand that, you stop asking, "What can I do to make her interested again?" You start asking a stronger question. Is this connection actually meeting me where I am? That question protects your dignity, your time, and eventually your ability to build something with someone who does not need to be chased into wanting you. If this changed how you see attraction, subscribe to Psychology of Desire. And in the next discussion, pay close attention to the difference between a woman who is genuinely pulling away and one who is interested but protecting herself, because confusing those two signals can completely change what you do next.